Okay, greetings, our Emergency Services Grant Program Advisory Committee members. I've put together this short video to show you how to navigate the scoring module for the Search and Rescue and Trail Safety Services grant cycle. We're still working on the true module being fixed, but the designers have worked on a workaround that I'm going to show you that hopefully we won't have to do throughout the entire scoring process here, but it is a way that you can at least get in and start sharing or scoring the proposals. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that. First, you all should have been given the link to get to the OAA RFP review and scoring system. That's what it's called. It was designed for our RFP and SOQ scoring, but we're tweaking it to work as a grant evaluator. Um, it's been quite the process, but I think we have something that we can use. So first I'm going to go to my login and put in my password. You have an original password, which is just the number one, and then capital B boulder, exclamation point. And when you do that, it'll ask you to reset a permanent password. So the only grant that we have active is this one. So you just hit go. This is the emergency services one. And when you do that, the summary is the very first. It's very tab oriented at the top. So the summary will show who you are, what your process or your status is, and then that there are 17 proposals. The first step, if you haven't done this already, is to acknowledge that you're not any of these qualifiers or disqualifiers that would actually keep you from being able to review all the grants, not just the one that you would serve on a membership or a leadership board. If you have, actually, these aren't correct, a member of an advisory council, you are a member of an advisory council. The only thing that the county attorneys have told us is that if you hold a leadership position, like the president of the board or the fire chief of an organization that has applied, then you need to recuse yourself from everything. I will try to get them to change this acknowledgement before you open this up. But essentially, if you have any questions about that, please reach out to me. Then the proposals tab is what we had hoped for you to be able to use. But as we discovered in our in-person meeting, if you go to proposal and hit go, it just shows up a blank screen. So that is the piece that is being worked on. You will use this page to look at the attachments. For some reason, if I choose attachments for the BCARES proposal and I hit go, it opens up, it showed, now they combined all of their grant financials into one spreadsheet, which is actually very helpful. And I'm going to see if it opens up. So my laptop is set to download everything instead of opening up. Yours may open up directly, but if not, generally they go, if you're using Chrome, they go up to this download section here, and then I just click on that, and then they open up. Now you're not going to be able to see the opening up on my screen unless I switch screens, which I can't do. But essentially they have a spreadsheet with tabs at the bottom providing their budgets and everything we ask for, the balance sheet and income. So when you want to look, and then these are all optional. These are all things that if you want to, you can open these up. But the only things that we asked that be required were the financials. So as long as they have financials, and I'll pick another one here just to see what theirs looks like. That's the only thing we required. So they did do each one separately, which is how we asked for them. But honestly, it was a little easier with the one that rolled them all up into one. So those are what you're going to want to check for. The one question about their financial strength and sustainability is you'll want to go back to this proposals tab to see their attachments. But The notes is where we're going to find each proposal. It takes a minute to load. So the Boulder County, this is the BCARES one, shows up first, but if I click on the down caret here, you'll see all of them. For right now, we're going to have to ask you to either, download them. So same thing, I'm going to call, they're all going to name the same thing. So I'm going to call this BCARES. And then again, it's going to go up here. So in this case, I'm going to open this up. It opens in a new tab, and then it's up to you whether you want to bounce back and forth. I might take this tab and kind of move it aside so that I have the, and again, you can't follow me with this, but you'll have the application open in a new tab that you can scroll down and review. And then if you go to the scores page after that, I started scoring this, but all of these will be 0 and these will all be marked for you. But if you go into here and you take each question at a time, now these aren't the actual questions that are going to show up when you do this. Again, they're fixing something that I can't erase these, but I've updated them. But when you open these up, these will be the correct questions. So the very first one will be, does the request meet this criterion? So it's an all-inclusive one-time grant, dot, 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 dot. If you believe it's yes, you enter a 1. If you believe it's no, you would enter 0. And then if you want, you can add some extra notes. This will primarily be to jog your memory when you go forward with the, when you start reviewing them together as a committee. If you want to put some notes in here, like did not feel they adequately included a complete project or proposal. So that would be notes that you would want to keep for yourself. And then when you're comfortable with that, you hit save. That's interesting. I changed this to a 0, but it did not save. Maybe you can't go back and change it. I'm going to tell them about that. But you have to do each question on the list for the, let me put a score of 4 in here. Specifically addressed bilingual residents. So something like that, I hit save. And my score, oh, it did say 0. I'm so sorry. So it did create, you can go back and change them, thank goodness. So here are my score as I go through each question, and I'm going down the list, make sure you get them all. And when I'm done, I will close out of this one. And then I go to the next one. So again, you'll probably have to go back to notes, download the one for the Horse Association to select. Actually, I think it was downloading on its own. You then want to download this. And this was the Horse Association. Again, this is just so you can look at the PDF in a different tab and review that, scroll through that on another page so you don't have to keep going back and forth. And then you go back to scores, and now you're ready to score the Boulder County Horse Association with the same questions for the other ones and the same score. Now, ignore where it says score, enter a number between 0 and 20. That was for a prior application, so ignore that and be sure to use the point scale that you'll see below each question. So don't bother to look at this. Use either the 1 or the 0 or the scale of 0 to 4 that I'll have fixed, and then save each question. And when you get done with everything, you'll go with, when you have all of your scores for all 17 applications, you'll go up to validate and submit. So it won't let me do that because I've not not scored everything. So it's telling me I need to go back and score all of these. But once you're done, you'll hit validate and submit, and then I will be able to roll them all up. You might be able to see everything at this point. I don't know what this is going to look like. Um, I guess this is going to be your individual report. So you will have a report of how you answered everything. And then as the administrator, I will be able to roll all of those numbers up and present you with the summary and the averages by the May 14th date. So that's our deadline, is to get everything scored by the evening of May 14th, and then we'll come together and look at the rolled up scores together. Now remember, the number score is only one tool we're going to use. The number is just going to kind of guide us in things that got weighted, more strongly across the board. But as a committee, you can determine whether you want to place more emphasis on a certain set of questions or not use the numbers much at all, but just to have a discussion. So it's really up to you. It doesn't mean that by scoring the highest applicants are going to get paid, get funded, and the lowest ones are not going to get funded. It's not that linear. I hope this has been helpful. Please reach out to me with any questions. And again, I really appreciate your help with this and your patience as we work through this new tool. Thanks again.